Get out of bed, bitches, because it's Friday. And on Fridays, we banter. And today, we have a huge banter for you. Huge banter. We have Winston Wolf out of retirement. We have Mr. Biz also out of retirement. We have Chico Crypto. And then we have some estrogen, because no crypto show is complete without a dose of estrogen. So I think it's going to be a big show. And what you're looking at here is Bitcoin touching that trend line. And I think what Bitcoin is saying is that if this Senate bill, this ridiculous, disgusting, ridiculous, terrible American legislation goes through, then Bitcoin will go down. And if not, then Bitcoin will go up. I think that's what Bitcoin's saying with this trend line. So welcome back, guys. Welcome back to Crypto Banter. I am Crypto Man Run, and I am here at least 3 times a day. In the mornings, we chart. In the afternoons, we have a technical show, a fundamental show. And then on Fridays, we banter. So if you're new to our community, welcome. Welcome to the best, the most profitable community in the crypto universe. Subscribe to our channel, like our content, so that everybody can know that we're around and that you can share our content, because the YouTube algorithm, not good friends with us. The YouTube algorithm is blocking crypto content. Also, remember, we are giving away those Lonely Alien giveaways. So that's a good reason for you to like the content and to comment. Let us see you. Anyway, today, I don't want to waste time on the introductions and on everything else. I want to get straight into the show because the banters go on for a long time. And everyone's saying, look, we need a longer banter. So instead of having a longer banter, let's just get into the banter quicker. So on this big week, I think it was like one of the biggest weeks, the week of Ethereum's EIP 1559, which was implemented, well, without any glitches. And as you can see, 4,927 ETH have been burnt. $7,000 worth of Ethereum are burnt every single minute. So on the eve of this, or on the end of this big week, I'm going to bring in my friends, my only friends, my crypto friends, Mr. Biz.
Ran, what's going on, Ran?
Nice to see you again, brother. Well, nice to hear from you again.
Nice day from you as well. Let's get it done, man. You got legend Chico on today, man.
We got the legend Chico on. We got the legend Chico. We have Wolf. Wolf, are you out of retirement?
What's up, man? I just woke up.
Are you out of retirement? Because you said that last time we spoke, you said you were basically retired and chilling.
I just bought JPEGs though.
Are you buying JPEGs? Oh, then this is going to be really interesting. If you're buying JPEGs, this discussion today is going to be really interesting. Then we have Chico Crypto, and I've been trying to track down Chico for a while, and I managed to get hold of him. He runs a very, very, very successful YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know him, one of the first channels I listen to every single morning. He's not everyone's cup of tea. Like you either love him or you hate him. He's not made for everyone. He's not a mainstream kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? But he does have some of the best insights into crypto that I've seen in a long, long, long time.
Thank you.
And then every week we get criticized for not having enough estrogen on the show. And usually the person that is criticizing us is Lisa. So then we decided to just get
That is true.
Lisa, every time I have a banter and there's no females in the banter, you're the first one to comment. Like, that's a lot of testosterone. I think I saw a comment today about sausages. I'm not sure if it was about lunch or about...
The girls always say it's a sausage party and I'm adding the sauce, so...
Well, I think today is going to be full of sauce. Okay, guys, so let's get into the show. Let's talk about, I think, probably the biggest event of the week. Or in fact, I'm not sure. What is the biggest event of the week? Is it EIP 1559 or is it this bill that is possibly going to be passed in the United States under the guise of an infrastructure bill? They've somehow found a way to sneak crypto into an infrastructure bill. And the proposals that I've seen right now would force all miners, all DEXers, all wallet providers to know to KYC addresses in effect, which kind of sounds absolutely ludicrous. And there's a lot of pushback. But we do know that Janet Yellen is actually on the side. She's lobbying on the side of more legislation, and she's lobbying against the Wyden and Loomis Toomey crypto amendment report. Guys, what's going on here? How dangerous is this? And why isn't the market nervous about this? I mean, Bitcoin is still touching $40,000, $41,000. Why isn't the market panicking about this?
I don't see how it can go through. Like, it's with anything in America, like, even if they pass that bill, it's going to take such a long time to implement it. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm a little scared of it. Of course, I'm American, so the reporting that's going to come through, and I do a little bit of not mining myself, but I'm an Ethereum validator, solo, validator. If that legislation passes, I'm going to have to do KYC as well, which is just a lot of issues. I mean, for the average Joe. I mean, if you take a look how many Ethereum, validator nodes are out there, solo stakers, it's over 100,000 as of right now. I mean, eventually it's going to be over 1 million. I mean, are they going to really have to do KYC for over 1 million validator nodes? I mean, of course, not all are in the United States, but a good percentage are.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not only about validators. It's anything and anyone to do with any type of crypto wallet. I mean, it's DEXs. It's registering, KYCing addresses on DEXs. It's anyone that's staking. It's really anyone with an address in the United States.
It's insane.
And remember, the White House is in favor of the amendment, and we have to understand why they're doing this, because they want $28 billion, right? So they specifically have a number in mind that they want to raise from crypto taxes, from crypto reporting. Is the amendment is scary if it passes? I have no idea if it's going to pass or not. I believe somebody said the vote might have been, Loomis might have said it might have been, it's going to be Saturday. Like Chico said, it's scary. And what's the impact going to be on the market if it passes? I definitely expect a small dump, at the very least, even in the short term.
But why isn't the market responding now? Because by the market not responding to this now, and to me, this is a very, very, very scary. Well, let me take you guys one step back. The reason why I'm so concerned about this is because they've lumped this into an infrastructure bill. So this is like one small part of one huge $1 trillion infrastructure bill. And I think that there are much bigger issues that the senators are going to want to deal with than this small thing called crypto. And I think that behind all of this is the big banks, the big American banks going to, I mean, we all know the corruption of politics. The big American banks are now saying, look, slide this part of the bill in. We'll look after you, don't worry, slide this in. And I don't think that this is going to be a major point that enough senators are vocal enough on enough levels to actually stop it from going through. So I don't think that this is like a big thing. And that's my concern. And I'm surprised that the crypto markets aren't like looking at this and going, hold on, this actually puts America out of the race.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think the markets are, they're ready for it. Because if it does pass, we get Saturday, we get bad news, it comes, I guarantee we're going to have a big dump. It's just they're literally setting up, in my opinion, setting up the longs. They are setting up a lot of longs like the shorts were getting set up a couple weeks ago. People are thinking kind of like, oh, we're up, we're above 40,000 right now. Why not put in a little bit of a long, take that risk. So they're setting up the longs, in my opinion. But I mean, no one knows what's going to happen, so there's a risk, 50-50 basically.
But isn't America like already out of the market in such a big way? Because, you can't go onto certain exchanges, you can't margin trade, you can't do half the things that we can do here in Australia. So, it's like, does this bill really make much of a difference overall? Because when Binance US went into the market and you were banned from doing, the majority of alts, and they wrapped you all up in cotton wool, there's not a huge big difference if this bill gets passed for Americans.
Well, would you not scare away the hedge funds and institutions potentially, who are the ones who've been driving a lot of the recent pumps and narratives, right? Would you not, the
Why
BlackRocks,
would
JP
you?
Morgans.
They're already KYC. They're already like.
Well,
following all the
I mean,
regulations.
do we think that this is going to be the only crypto legislation? This is a precedent being set. If they pass this, what's to stop them from passing other ones in the future, right? So I think that's the biggest thing. They're not going to just stop at this bill. If they can pass this successfully, they're going to keep going after the crypto money, and
I think there are a lot of things here that you guys aren't seeing. I think if you're comparing the fact that exchanges and speculative houses, we're going to call exchange a speculative house for a while, is a ban. That's not a ban. This actually means KYC on staking, on any transfer of. If an app wants to reward you for being a contributor with a small tip, they have to get a KYC on the address that they're sending the tip to. I mean, let's just understand what this means. It means that every time a crypto transaction goes through, no matter how big or small, you need to have a KYC on the other side.
You do, but you need to actually prove that person's in the United States. So, that's the other factor as well. Like, crypto is fairly anonymous, and how do you prove that address is in the United States? You can't.
Winston, what do you think?
I think if American politicians want more money, they should start another war. But it'll probably pass. I mean, this is the usual MO for these sort of guys, is to sneak something into something which can't be rejected. And yeah, like you said, like it does have sort of fundamental issues across crypto and DeFi, really. Like it breaks DeFi in a lot of ways. But I KYC for everything already, so
yes, of
I'm
course.
not worried.
Yes. Of course. Yeah, I mean, I must say, I think that you have to keep your eye on the markets, because if there is a chance that this happens, things like Uniswap, things like Aave, things like even Bitcoin may take a bit of a dip this weekend. And it looks like it should have been passed last night. It didn't get passed last night. It could mean that it gets passed sometime over the weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
I think the market's kind of ignored it with what's going on with ETH and the upgrade, and it's kind of just sort of slipped in. I do think that there is like an air of inevitability when it comes to this sort of thing, though. This is what's actually going to happen along the way. Is that eventually something like Uniswap or those sort of things are going to be forced into having, at least for like not at a protocol level, but at like a front end website level, like KYCing people on the way through.
Yeah. All right. Let's move away from legislation, because it makes my blood boil. I hate talking about it. I have a huge dislike for the people that are in charge. I think that they are dinosaurs. Let's get on to the good news of the week, which was EIP 1559. London hard fork went through without any kind of issues. It was I don't know, super clean. We have 5,000 ETH being burnt. Any thoughts on how the process was implemented? Any thoughts about this new area in Ethereum? Chico, let's start with you.
I'm excited, of course. I've been talking about EIP 1559 for 2 years now, since it was first being talked about and released. It's excellent to see, that there was actually some deflationary blocks that could go through, more Ethereum is being burned than is being rewarded. Of course, if you add in the proof of stake, ETH2, then it gets, maybe not deflationary. But as of, between the ETH1 chain and the burn, there are some deflationary blocks, which is very exciting, because if it does, proceed how it's going right now, eventually Ethereum is going to be deflationary with the merge once we move to proof of stake. So I'm super excited about it. The only issue, I've seen with, the markets taking it is it hasn't fixed gas prices. Some people are like, oh, gas prices are still crazy. Well, that's not going to be fixed until we get sharding and, other things like that.
And that's effectively end of the year, or they're saying it could be as soon as the end of the year, right? Where we go onto the proof of stake chain, and then all those other good things become implemented. I think there's a massive misconception in the market. And even from some YouTubers, I listened to some other YouTubers, and they said, oh, as of yesterday, ETH became deflationary. ETH is not deflationary. We're still issuing more ETH to the proof of work miners than we are burning. If you look at the net that has been burnt and the net that has been issued in the last call it 24 hours, ETH is not deflationary, but it is burning at a rate of $7,000 per minute.
Yeah, there's actually a good website. I think it's ultrasound.money, which shows, how Ethereum could become deflation. Oh, you're right on it. Nice. Yeah, there's a good website that shows, the data. I don't know if it shows the actual chart at below. They used to have a chart you could play with. There it is. Yeah. So basically it's showing that, you can mess with the factors and everything. Eventually you have to get the base, fee, which is the base price, what is being paid and getting burned. It has to be more than the staking amount. And also when we are in proof of work, which we still are in the transition, the burn has to be more than both the staking amount and the proof of work amount to become deflationary. And that's not going to happen. We might have some deflationary blocks, but we're not going to be truly deflationary until we go to the merge.
All right. Winston, what are your thoughts? ETH 2.0, this EIP 1559, how significant was this move?
I'm pretty pleased with it all. It was actually pretty interesting to see how much ETH was actually getting burnt over the last sort of 24 hours. I think a lot of people were surprised by that. And obviously, the upgrade going through pretty smoothly. It's a pretty bullish case again for ETH in the short to medium term. And it's showing, this is real tech. This is something which is progressing. It's being built upon. Like, it just keeps getting better and better. It's not stagnant like, something like BTC.
I was watching Vitalik's face yesterday. I was watching the live stream with Vitalik and a couple of the other guys, and I was watching his face when it went through. And Vitalik doesn't show much emotion, but his face lit up when the block went through. Like, I've achieved this. I've done this. A lot of people thought that the ETH price would dump as this happened. Buy the rumor, sell the news. I mean, is there any news to sell here? What was the news here that would have caused an ETH dump or an ETH pump? Effectively, everything's been priced in. We've known about this for a long time. London hard fork has been priced in for months. What was this whole thing around sell the news? What news was there to sell?
Well, we did kind of dump. We went down to, I think, 2,500. So we had a dip. You can call it that, a small dip. But I mean, this is news that would have actually impacted the supply of Ethereum. Usually, buy the rumor, sell the news, fine. And we're looking at Chainlink right now, where, I'm a big Chainlink holder.
Oh yeah, baby.
Where we had the run up. By the way, Chainlink just partnered with Google Cloud. Make sure you watch some Chainlink.
And with Filecoin. I don't know if you guys saw the announcement this afternoon or this morning. Chainlink and Filecoin are working together to do joint grants for projects that want to build on decentralized file storage.
And Energy Web Chain just partnered with Filecoin. So there could be something going on there with the energy industry.
Before we move away from this ETH 2.0 story, the thing that's most interesting for me about this ultrasound.money website is not the burn, but it's actually where the burn is coming from. So you can see that of the 4,000 ETH that have been, or 5,000 ETH that have been burnt, 581 of those have come off OpenSea. 527 have come from COVID punks. 394 have come from Uniswap. 313 have come from Axie Infinity. So it means that 1,400 of the top 2,000 coins that have been burnt have come from NFTs. And I guess that's probably a sign of the times, right?
Yes, we are having a second
JPEGs.
Overpriced JPEGs. No, I like that because I agree. I mean, I believe in NFTs. I mean, I've said NFTs were going to kick off this last run, and now NFTs are kind of coming back, and they're possibly going to kick off another run. There's a lot of money being made in NFTs. One of my buddies from Brothers, he's made like 500K in the past 3 months just off NFTs. It's insane. I'm like, teach me, dude. please teach me how you're doing this. But
Winston, teach us. I know that you've been aping into NFTs. Teach us.
Yeah, teach us. I mean, but my buddy's brother, he's actually in art, he's been doing art before. So he knows the market. He knows how to spot a piece. He knows if it's going to be valuable. And I mean, he says that's a learned thing. And he said it took him like 3 years to learn it in the actual just art industry. And then he transferred those skills over to the NFT art industry. Of course, it's going to be very similar. He's a picker.
Winston, tell us about what you're doing in the NFT space. Are you buying axes? Are you buying land in Splinterlands? What's the play here?
Well, I think, with the way NFTs are at the moment, it's kind of like an early altcoin kind of strategy for most people, which is you can throw darts at a dartboard and pretty much hit a bullseye with anything in the short term at this point in time. Longer term, obviously, a lot of people, there's a whole sort of movement around derivative punks, which is going to, have a short burn and then burn out. But I think probably to tie it back into what we were talking about before, a lot of crypto is used for moving money. And with stuff like this, this infrastructure bill and the KYC components and that sort of thing, DEXs are a predominant way of moving money without, too much of a KYC trail or something like that. What we're seeing and what we'll see as NFTs progress is that they'll take the mantle from DEXs and allow you to have value stored or transfer large amounts of value without using KYC. So I think that's an important thing for people to keep an eye on as the NFT market progresses, past any of the other sort of fundamental sort of stuff, is that it's a way to work around the system, as it were.
Are you saying people...
Sorry.
Go ahead, Lisa. Go ahead, Lisa.
So there's some really cool things being built into NFTs. There's charged particles where you can actually hold a wallet within the NFTs, and you can put all your coins and store them in those NFTs. So, a lot of the NFTs are just not purely JPEGs anymore. They actually have functionality. So, and there's a lot more of that coming into the market.
Yes, I think, Charged Particles is a unique project because it allows you to merge and lump NFTs together almost. And so you can build certain applications with NFTs. Just quickly for our viewers, we are giving away the NFTs. We have to give away the aliens today. The one we're going to give away on this show is actually my NFT, which is, as you can see, of course, it's the best NFT with the highest bid of $280 already. So if you want that, that's the NFT we're going to be giving away. Biz, are you aping into NFT? Are you in Axie Infinity? Are you in all of these play to earn games?
Not yet. Well, I mean, I got a bag of Eternity because it was comparatively low market cap. It's probably one of the better NFT projects, but this is the difference between in crypto and mainstream, because Eternity's in America, at least, it's getting on ESPN, it's got all this mainstream attention, but it's not pumping as hard as these video game NFTs. So I didn't get into the video game NFT just because I didn't personally believe in the hype. But Axie's been doing well. Also, Terra Virtua has been doing well, and it's not necessarily even video games. It's just an NFT project. So I think having good exposure to NFTs for the long run is a good idea. But I mean, I don't want to ape into Axie. I saw Axie run up. I didn't want to buy into that big green candle, but it just kept going.
I must say, I love Eternity. They were on our show yesterday. We are giving away one of the Leo Messi NFTs. I think it is, I wonder if I've actually got it here. I don't have it here, but we are giving away a Leo Messi NFT to some members of our community. But I think that's still kind of NFT 1.0. And I say this, that is, you're owning a moment in time, and you're owning a JPEG or a GIF or a movie of a moment in time. I think what things like Axie Infinity are doing in Splinterlands, NFTs in the metaverse, where you can build stuff on them, where you can rent them out, where you can let other people play with them. I think that, to me, is NFT 2.0. And that is, for me, much more exciting.
Well, I think there's an interesting point there, because there's definitely different classifications of NFT projects at the moment. So, the punks and that sort of stuff are kind of recognized as the OG ones. They're more collector piece, sort of social avatar status sort of projects. Bored Apes have come along and, you know, sort of expanded upon that and brought a bit more utility to things, giving people the ability to have more of a community around things and, you know, own the IP for the apes and create your own brand. And then you've got these other ones which are being tied into like game mechanics, which is something Elio's been talking about, and that's being worked on with Superfarm. And these are the ones where you don't just have the NFT component, and you've got like a token component of it as well. And it's kind of like a combination of like this game mechanic, social avatar, like metaverse sort of thing, which is different to what you're talking about with Eternity and other ones, where it's more like licensed IP. I think there's a space for all of them. It's just a different strategy when you're going into these sorts of things, and definitely the ones based around community growth. Or what's been really nice to see with stuff like Axis and Splinterlands is, you know, value based off actual usage, which is really cool.
But we've also seen this spin off into cult following. We have aliens in this the other day. If you guys saw, Gary Vee kind of like mentioned, acknowledged the Ethereum rocks, right? NFTs, and now these rocks is just a picture of a rock. There's 100 of them. People want to sell them for 6 to 7 figures.
But something like a rock is not going to like stick around for probably not going to stick around for the long term. It's kind of like indicative of the bubble sort of stuff where you get a bunch of this sort of shit launched over a short period of time, and 1 out of 10 kind of sticks.
But when you have oversaturation, people, again, you have to understand when normies come in, when people come in, they don't know, all right, what's legit, what's not legit. We know we're in tune, we're in touch, but these guys are just going to go ahead and buy whatever is the hot trend. I'm telling you, somebody bought a rock for a lot of money, and they're not going to make any money off of that. That's for sure.
No.
I think it's a game of musical chairs, and I think that when the music stops, you better hope that you have a seat. And I think that people are going to be left. People who paid large amounts of money for a very fun-looking JPEGs, 99% of those people aren't going to have a chair. And
I think that's something that people need to know with NFTs is that like a floor price is not an implied liquidity price, and while a rock may be sitting there listed at 55k, like there's a limited. It's not like being able to log on to Uniswap and dump a bunch of an altcoin at a certain price. Like you got to match a buyer with a seller with these sorts of things, and like they are relatively illiquid markets. And if you do take a closer look at things, like there's a lot of wash trading that goes on with some of these wallets, even in the punkverse. Don't lock up too much capital on these sorts of things if you don't have too much capital to waste on overpriced JPEGs.
Chico?
There are projects actually, Muse NFT 20, which is actually basically turning into the Uniswap for NFTs. And it's basically where people pool together their NFTs and create liquidity pools based off the NFTs. So it actually creates price floors for these NFTs. I don't know how many they have listed on their website right now, but it is possible to get rid of your NFT through Muse, without finding, a buyer for it. You can actually add it to the liquidity pool.
We've got punks, we've got rocks, we've got penguins, we've got camels, we've got monkeys, we've got apes, we got you name it. Ultimately, I think that maybe 1 or 2 of these actually work, and I think that when they work, it is because Disney creates a movie and says, okay, if you own this punk or this ape, we want to license him from you to be in our movie, and you get royalties from every time that the movie is watched, etc., etc. I think those are the ones that succeed. I think the rest, 99, not all, but 99% of the rest are going to be very pretty JPEGs that people are going to say, I can't believe that I paid 1 ETH for this, or 0.9 ETH. I mean, there's going to be another one which is going to be good, and it's this one over here. This is a very good NFT. This one is definitely going to survive any bear market. That's the Run NFT. So that's the only one that I think is going to survive.
Just on your point there, Rand, I just want to give a shout out to a sleeper NFT project that I've been keeping an eye on, which is Cryptocurrencies. And essentially they've already got like a lot of IP out there. Janky is one of the Fortnite characters. They have that sort of thing going on like you were talking about where the NFTs are going to be involved in a metaverse, and they're also bringing out a bunch of like licensed content, making movies, partnering with artists. And people just don't know about this one yet. So have a look. I think it's cryptojankies.com. They recently launched, and I think they're going to make some promo over the next couple of weeks.
And
That's
just
so
on that
for me.
as well, Ren. I've got a whole series of NFTs coming out for my Coin Runners movie, so that's going to happen in the next month. So yeah, that's going to be like huge for that movie, and yeah, going to sort of fund that. And people, as part of the NFT, you become a producer of the movie and you own part of the movie. So it's kind of cool.
I think there's two things that I'm really looking forward to with NFTs. So one is when big studios license NFTs from normal people like you and I, because we've built these amazing brands out of our own NFTs that people are following. So I think that's one thing I'm really looking forward to. The other thing I'm really looking forward to is the merge between the metaverse and the real world. And what I mean by that is you're playing a game in the metaverse and your character gets hungry, and then in order to refuel, you can go to McDonald's and eat McDonald's, a real McDonald's, scan your till slip, and then your character gets revitalized again. And then you get this merge between the digital world and the real world. And I know you're laughing, but I did hear on our show yesterday that Gucci created a bag and then a virtual bag. So one real bag and one virtual bag for the metaverse. The one in the metaverse sold for more than the real life bag. The digital bag, which had no costs of creation, no leather, sold for more than the real world bag.
Yeah, I believe Paris Hilton was tweeting about that. So I saw that she was buying up the NFTs of those bags and stuff. So it was kind of cool to watch.
Imagine being a Bitcoin maximalist. In fact, the question is, how can anybody still be a Bitcoin maximalist? Watch NFTs take over the world, do all these amazing things. Watch play to earn gaming. Watch DeFi. How is it that you can still be a maximalist and say that that altcoin shouldn't exist?
Well, I was actually kind of upset with the Bitcoin maxis yesterday because of the success of Ethereum and their EIP 1559. Some maxi pads were calling for ETH to be reclassified as a security, calling out Gary Gensler, saying ETH is a security, blah, blah, blah. Even Samson Mao of Blockstream, who's a pure maxi pad, he was calling, tell me you're a security without telling me you're a security. And he posted a picture of Vitalik. It's ridiculous. I mean, I hope BTC maxi pads realize that Ethereum is Bitcoin's Lightning Network. I mean, there's more Bitcoin being wrapped and put onto the Ethereum chain than there's actually Bitcoin within their second layer, the Lightning Network. So yeah, I hope they can realize it.
I can imagine being a maximalist in the old days, but I think now when you actually see what's happening on Ethereum, how do you still justify saying, oh, no, only Bitcoin must exist? When you see all the amazing things happening in DeFi and you see all the amazing things happening in NFTs, how do you still live in a world where you think only Bitcoin should exist?
Well, Rand, first of all, there's a difference between what they say publicly and what they feel privately. If the narrative you've created to make Bitcoin the monster it is that everything else is terrible. We at the Bitcoin conference there, they were basically saying that Ethereum is a shit coin, right? And they treat Ethereum like everything else. That's the narrative for them, is that it's Bitcoin, it's only Bitcoin. But you saw Michael Saylor say that and say that it was no second best. Then a few weeks later, he comes out and he says, you know what, Ethereum has a use case as well. So, he kind of backtracked on that. I know Jack seems to be a maxi, but even Elon said that he owns Ethereum, right? So Elon's got, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Doge, and we've seen all these institutions now say that, and I believe it was Goldman Sachs that said they would take Ethereum over Bitcoin because long term they believe in its value proposition and they believe it would give a higher ROI. I think Ray Dalio said positive things about Ethereum as well.
Okay, so let's ask this question. Your holding period is 5 years. You can't sell. It's the only money you've got. There is a gun to your head, and you have to place it on either Bitcoin or Ethereum for 5 years. You can't swap. What do you take, Chico?
Ethereum.
Me too.
Hands
Lisa.
down.
Can I go 50-50?
Which one?
Ethereum.
Wolf?
You know my answer on this. I've been an ETH bull all the way. I just want to say with Bitcoin maxis is that like their identity and their business model are tied into that sort of stuff. They just can't pivot away from it. And you've had people on here like Peter McCormack, who's, you know, a self-acknowledged Bitcoin maxi, who's just ignorant. Like he doesn't care about anything else. Like, you know, you bring up something to him about an altcoin or something like that, you know, everything gets discounted. Like his entire business model, his entire identity, like whatever else he's got wrapped up in it is all based around Bitcoin. There's no way he can pivot away from that without looking like more of a moron than he already is.
I got to show you something. I have to show you something. So Plan B, which is someone I have a lot of respect for, he posted this tweet, and this tweet says, if you're new to Bitcoin, it can be difficult to know who is who and who to follow. There are lots of scammers. I find Hive ranking a great source of who to follow. So I clicked on Hive ranking, and it really is like a club for Bitcoin maximalists. So, you know, you get Adam Back at the top, then Jack Mallers, and you heard Jack Mallers taking on Brian Armstrong earlier this week. Nick Carter, Jameson Lopp, Elizabeth Stark, Michael Saylor. So this is kind of like, where, if you want to know who the maxis are, you just go to hive.one and you click on Bitcoin, and this is what you get.
Yeah.
Well, Bitcoin is not an inclusive community like it started as one. It isn't anymore. Those people have taken their stake. They're in their position in the community. They don't want you involved, you know? You're there. Sorry.
I saw Max Kaiser do a tweet about Thorchain after the hack and call it shitcoin. I said, you old bastard, Rune has outperformed Bitcoin since its inception. And, you know, Eric Voorhees is backs Thorchain. And I'm like, why is Max Kaiser going after Thorchain? Is because of their insecurity. What they're going to do is they're going to bring down everything else, because honest to God, what's the narrative left with Bitcoin? All right, so you got a store of value, but it really doesn't do anything. Ethereum, Ethereum literally is I believe it's the only real currency. It has an actual value. It has a network effect, I think, again, beyond store value. And we saw Pomp even try to say that Bitcoin was DeFi. Come on, man. With the whole sovereign stuff, Bitcoin is not DeFi, man. And this is, they're grasping at straws right now. And NFTs and all this stuff, they missed out on it with what Ethereum's doing. So now they're going to downplay everything else that Ethereum does. And Nick Carter, that man needs to learn the love of a woman, because he got too much time on his hands, is talking about, EIP 1559, the gas prices went up. I'm like, who said that EIP was supposed to lower the gas prices? That's not the point of it. And so he's, misspread information. Man, a lot of this it has to do with the fact that these guys, they're alone with their lotion too much. They gotta find companionship.
Mr. Biz, you've always got such a beautiful way and a very diplomatic way.
Well, the beauty about, Ethereum is there's actual enterprises building on top of Ethereum, and that's proof through the baseline protocol. And actually, baseline protocol in October has a big release. They're having Microsoft speak, Splunk, Ernst & Young, Coke One of North America, which is the biggest Coke bottler for, North America. I think it's over 67 different bottlers, all connected throughout North America. And that's being all built on the baseline protocol, which connects back to not Bitcoin, Ethereum. So again, like Ethereum as a security, I don't think it's going to happen, because if they do classify it as a security, then we have some big issues coming for things like the baseline protocol, which a lot of enterprises are going to be using. So
there's no way that Ethereum is going to be reclassified as a security, regardless of what this Hinman or whatever they call him says. With the way I see Ethereum and why it's so exciting for me, I think that there have been multiple experiments on Ethereum, and two of them have built entire economies. DeFi is one, and NFTs are another. And I think that in time there will be 100, not two economies, but 100 economies. And they're all being built on Ethereum. And Ethereum is the oil that powers all these economies. And that oil is now going to be deflationary next year sometime. So for me, that's like you'd be dumb to bet against Ethereum. And in fact, that's why I think 5 out of 5 of us are saying that Lisa's like half, because she said she's not really sure, but 4.5 out of 5 of us are saying that we'd rather put all our money into Ethereum than Bitcoin. And I think that's a big statement. Okay, let's go. Because we've got 20 minutes and I really want to degen with you guys. I think we've kept this discussion a little bit too civilized. I think it's time to get to degen and get to what people actually want. So Mr. Whale, who is a guy that I follow on Twitter, tweeted this.
Oh, don't get me started with Mr. Whale.
I think I just did. I think I just got you started.
Bear on earth. He literally is.
Okay. So you don't think that this is just a lower high, like a retrace? And
no, I don't. I think we're in a super cycle. And I think this is a correction. I don't think we're going into a massive bear market. You have a look at the overall market cycle and what's going on with DeFi and NFTs and with money coming into the market. It's not going into a bear market like we went into in 2018, 2019. It's just not happening.
Chico, what do you think?
I mean, I hope not. You know, and I personally have talked about it. I've been calling the top for this cycle, this super cycle, to be around 100K for some time. When it's going to happen, I think it's going to be at the end of the year, like all other cycles before, you know? And yeah, I don't believe it. But I mean, I'm just Chico Crypto. I'm just a dude that's been involved with a couple cycles. So who knows?
Wolf, you were negative. You sold all your tokens. You sold everything. You told us last time that you've become a stablecoin maximalist. Are you redeploying money into the market? Do you trust this bounce, or is this bounce like a drunk erection?
I still wake up every day and sell 25 or 50K worth of tokens. So
Wow,
it's a nice bounce. Obviously, I still hold ETH long term, but I'm not a believer at this point in time.
So you don't trust this bounce?
Not at this point. I mean, like, I don't believe that we're in a super cycle. I think that we'll see things go lower at some point in time. We'll probably make maybe highs in between, but it's too risky for me to deploy too much capital at this point in time. Like
what would convince
I'm in and out.
What would convince you? I mean, is there a level? Is there a price level? Is there a metric? Is there a piece of news? What would it take to convince you that we're out of that this is not a bear cycle, but actually a bull cycle?
Well, I'd be much more bullish around sort of like mid 43, 44K BTC. But what I'd really be looking for is like some of that fundamental stuff that happens in the background, which is, capital being recycled, which means that new projects are launching again. They're giving good returns to investors. That's being put into new projects, and that sort of cycle continuing. And like that's kind of been the difference with this last little pop is that we've had some good fundamental stuff going on with some of the tech components of things. The NFT sort of stuff has been based off real usage, and people have been making money. But like even stuff like Axes and that sort of thing, it's like a little Ponzius in the sense that like it's going to reach a crescendo and then the mechanics don't work like they used to, and you may not have your Filipinos or whoever it is, like, using this as an income source. If there is any sort of bearish component of this NFT pop is that a lot of people are going to get locked up with kind of illiquid NFTs. Like it's kind of like a little knife edge still for me. So just playing it cautiously for now.
Biz, I know you're going to tell me we're in a super cycle and you sit on the side of the fence of a super cycle, right?
Well, I mean, I'm bullish just because look at the last week, look at the last 2 weeks. We've been going up with small pullbacks. Also, here's a key thing: the good news pumps the market more than the bad news is dumping it. When we started getting more and more bearish a few months ago, and it's a bad news just halt growth completely. And Rand, you mentioned before, why is the Senate news not the legislation news not affecting the price? It could be that's how bullish people really are. So I do think that we are now in a super cycle. Again, I mean, we do. There are some levels I want to see. I do want to see the big one for me. I want to see $3,000 Ethereum. We haven't had that.
You're going to see it this weekend. You're going to see it by close of business.
Let's go, player. Let's go. Big one for me. I want to see.
Okay, we are going to give away the NFT today, but only if we get 5,000 likes. There are 2,300 likes. So we've got about 15 minutes left. Let's go full degen. Now, this is like where we turn in the screws. We warmed up a little bit. Now we're going full degen. So, chaps, what do you have your eyes on now? I know that you're going to tell me, I should have bought Eternity Chain at $3.50, and I know Rune was a great buy at $3.50. We said that. In fact, we told our community to buy a whole lot of these. I just want to pull up the double your money, man.
MEV coins. MEV coins. Minor extractable value, maximum extractable value. With EIP 1559 launched, miners are looking for more ways to make revenue. MEV, they're looking to front run traders. They're looking to, front run. Soon it's going to be front run on things like Compound, Aave. So coins that are focusing on MEV, Alchemist coin, go is all I got to say.
Okay, Chico, so for our viewers, so I must say I'm also a holder of Alchemist coin. For our viewers who don't know what minor extractable value is and how minor extractable value works, give us the 2-minute version.
2-minute version of MEV is, so basically when a transaction, you submit a transaction to Ethereum, it goes into the mempool, which is just a pool of transactions. And miners, because they get, a view of transaction first, they have bots set up. So they will literally front run your transaction. So say you submitted a transaction to trade on Uniswap. They will front run you. So your transaction cancels and then they buy, get the coins, and then they pump up the price and then they force you to pay a higher price than you should have. And actually there's a few websites, sandwiched, which you can put in your Ethereum address and it will show you how much you've lost to these bots, these MEV bots. It's an awesome website. I recommend anyone who has an Ethereum address to go put it in, because some addresses of mine, I've lost literally freaking $20,000 to these bots. It's ridiculous.
How do you spell sandwiched? Is it SANDW?
Yeah, sand, and then WICHED.WTF.
Okay, I'm going to try and pull that one up. So what does Alchemist do? So I am a holder of the coin. I must be, again, community. What does this do? What does the coin do?
So Alchemist coin is actually an NFT coin, kind of like Charged Particles, a little bit different though. You can hold within the NFT, which is a Crucible, different ERC20s as well as liquidity tokens. And actually it's a smart wallet, which allows you to subscribe to different reward programs. So they've just integrated with Ampleforth, so you can actually hold Ample tokens within your Crucible and subscribe not only to the Alchemist reward program, but also to the Ampleforth and their Geyser reward programs. But that's not regarding MEV. That's, was their initial use case, what they came out with. They created MistX, which is a Flash Dex. So it's integrated with Flashbots technology, and that actually protects you from these front-running bots. So if you submit a transaction on MistX, you are basically guaranteed to not be front-run and sandwiched. And MistX,
big use case, big use case.
And the beauty about MistX is partial of the revenues that go through. So of course, traders are using MistX, blah, blah, blah. For the savings, they save you from the bots and everything. A partial amount of those savings go into the rewards program for Crucible holders. So the more people that use MistX and use the protection, the more the Crucible NFT holders are going to make.
Okay, Lisa, Chico, I'm coming back to you for another call. Lisa, what are you aping into now?
Okay,
I don't care what you do in the dip because...
Sorry?
I don't care about the history. I want to know about today. Someone who's watching today, what do we look at now?
SMT payment tokens, so swarm markets. So basically, with everything that's happening, this is an exchange that is licensed for securities. They have a banking license. They have hedge fund licenses, and this is going to be massive. So with everything that's happening in the US, SMT is one to look at because they have all the licenses already.
I mean, speaking of payment tokens, what kind of payment tokens? I guess we have to talk about Alchemy Pay, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is what the 30-day chart looks like.
Like,
and
it's massive. So this Binance today announced that they've just integrated it as their payment gateway. So for fiat to crypto. So this is massive, and this is just keeping growing and growing. Like, the RSI on this is absolutely on fire, and it just keeps going up.
Would you buy it? I mean, would you buy it at 10 cents?
I probably would, because this is like, even though it's so oversold at the moment, I would buy any pullback on this at the moment because it's just going to be huge.
Mr. Business, no Polkadot, no. I know you're going to say Polkadot, Kusama.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I bought Alchemy Pay when it was up a few X's. I saw, I mentioned on Twitter, and that's when it was about $25 million market cap. It's gone crazy since then. I would not be touching it just because it's pumped so much that, I mean, I do see a big pullback coming on it. Honestly, for in terms of low caps, I'm not really looking at much low caps right now. I'm still focusing on more of the bigger caps. And as I told you last week, like Luna just keeps killing it, man. Honestly, like Luna, to me, the upside is ridiculous. I think a lot of people still are sleeping on Luna. I would say buy Thorchain on pullbacks. And I think Thorchain has shown that people don't care about the hacks. I have more confidence in
protocols more resilient. If a protocol survives a hack, it makes it more resilient. I told the community to buy Thorchain. A few days ago, I also told the community to buy Rari Governance Token, which is also a DeFi play. Also hacked, not twice, hacked once, but recovering. If you look at the 1 week chart of this, which is about when I told the community to start buying this, this is what it looks like. All the way from 8 or 761, and it's now at about $13. I told the guys to buy SFI, and I'd still buy RGT, and I'd still buy SFI. Why? Because these are institutional DeFi plays. These are institutional DeFi plays, and I think institutional DeFi you can't really go wrong with. So I'm going to stick to that. Winston the Wolf, are you buying anything, or are you just selling?
Well, I'm mostly selling, but if I was to buy anything in this point in time, not to steal business thunder, but I do think that KSM and DOT are about to come into a fundamental sort of period, you know, similar to what we've seen with the ETH upgrades, different thing, obviously, but like that's the sort of trend, and there'll be a really nice narrative around it. And as long as the market stays as it is, that's probably the easiest gains you're going to see.
Okay, Chico, just because you're not here often and you don't make calls often, are you a Cardano fan?
Oh, God, no. Oh, God, no. Charles Hopkinson. Oh, he's a funny. We were actually supposed to fight in a UFC fight or boxing match. Yep, but that never went down because of COVID, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I do not like Cardano. If you look into the history of Cardano, it was originally a gaming platform where they're supposed to launch all this like gambling, pachinko, whatever on top of it in Japan. And then they said they're going to go on the mainnet with this like 6-7 years ago. It is absolutely just a bull. It's bull crap. It's bull crap after bull crap after bull crap after bull crap. Yeah, okay. I hate Cardano.
let me make this 5 tokens for you, Chico. 5 tokens, other than Mist. 5 tokens you'd put money into right now.
Ooh, well, of course, you know, Ethereum. I'm going with number 1. Number 2 is Energy Web Chain. If you guys haven't heard of Energy Web, that's going to be a top 20 crypto eventually, because they are literally changing the energy markets and how they're going to be traded. It's already happening. There's actually countries, you know, entire countries talking about putting their energy grid and trading on top of the Energy Web chain. A few other ones I would be looking at is Illuvium, because of the hype with, play to earn gaming.
Definitely Illuvium.
Yeah, and Illuvium is actually really nice because the founders of it are the Warwick brothers. So Kane Warwick, the founder of Synthetics, it's his brothers. Yeah, they founded this one. A couple other plays. What have I bought?
Polkadot Cardano, yes, no.
I would actually pick up Polkadot over, not Cardano. I'd pick up Polkadot because parachains.
I meant Kusama. Polkadot or Kusama?
Well, I would have said Kusama, a month ago, because the parachain month and a half ago, they're doing the parachain auctions. But now that they've run smoothly on top of Kusama, it's going to eventually, that's what Kusama is. It's the Canary Network Test Network, live test network for Polkadot. So now that, all these parachain auctions have really ran smoothly on top of Kusama, it's going to come over to Polkadot here soon. And they're going to run their first ones. And that's probably one of the reasons why Polkadot is moving so much right now.
Dogecoin, yes or no? After Elon Musk, yes.
Yes. Oh, so that actually the space coins. So, as you guys know, they're doing the Doge 1, satellite launch next year. That was announced. Unfortunately, it was announced at like the wrong time, right when the market started going down. Blah blah blah. But there are space tokens: Z Protocol, Gamma, Kappa, and Rho, which are involved with that Doge 1 space launch. And these guys are actually connected right to SpaceX. So the space tokens I would be definitely looking at.
Lisa, Doge, yes, no? Still yes.
Because, Doge is essentially Bitcoin because it was a fork of Litecoin, which was a fork of Bitcoin. So Doge is Bitcoin.
Alrighty, guys, love you madly. It's time to give away the NFT. We're going to give away the NFT, the Run NFT. Who wants the Run NFT? Give us a comment and you can have the Run, the best NFT in the world. And the winner of this NFT is Matt Williams. Take me to your leader, Alien Man Ran. Matt, you got this NFT. Get hold of us so we can send you NFT. Kids, love you madly. Community, friends, love you madly. Chico, we need to do a one-on-one, I think, next week so that our community can get to know you and your views. Winston, when you come out of retirement, we'll get you on again. And Lisa and Biz, we definitely have to do one of those too. So we'll see you guys.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Rand.
Great chat. Thank you, guys. And to the Banter fam, we will see you guys all again next week. Monday. We'll have 3 shows on Monday. Today, there's not going to be a third show. There's not going to be a microdose today because I have dinner plans. I will see you guys all again next week. Until then, trade well, my friends.